RNC Day 2 happened with the GOP rivals uniting behind Trump with Make America Safe Again.
With the RNC in Milwaukee, where former contenders for the GOP presidential nomination gave Donald Trump some major support last.
By the way, this was weak as RNC Day 2 was weak as hell because their entire point is just like, we have to make America safe again because obviously America's like on the downturn and there's like so much crime. You can't really make that argument this far out. Like you could have tried to make that argument in the midterms and it still failed on its face. And you know this, like, I love Cenk. You know, I ride for Cenk. 2024 is the year of Cenk. I'm voting for him, right? He's my president. He's my president in my heart. And it's, like, interesting to think that, you know, someone who is so formative, so important in my life could become so fucking brain rotted in terms of the crime panic, in terms of the crime narrative. He did that shit. Anna as well, unfortunately. And it's like, they were wrong. And they were wrong, and the Republican Party is wrong. What's really crazy about this is I was listening to NPR this morning, as one does, you know, trying to be as gay as possible. It's called gay maxing. You guys should try it sometime. And it was shocking. It was shocking that, like, I'm listening to Up First, right? And what am I hearing from Up First? Designated HasanAbi talking points from like 2021 onward. Crime panic is out of control. Americans consistently overestimate how bad crime is. Why do they feel this way? Well, it seems they feel this way because they see homelessness and they think, oh, that's crime. They look at homeless people on the streets and they view that as like crime skyrocketing. Sensationalist news from local media, all the way from Sinclair Broadcasting, all the way to like regular local media outside of the sphere of Sinclair Broadcasting, the network television was going along with this narrative. They would bring police chiefs on and they would tie it to crime is skyrocketing because the police are defunded. Police never got defunded. Crime never actually fucking skyrocketed, but it didn't matter. That narrative set, it wasn't helped by the fact that Citizen and Ring and all of these applications that people had turned them into like unironic fascists, turned all the moms in the suburbs into fucking Hitlerian fascists. It swept the goddamn nation. And yet you don't really hear about it as much anymore. Why? Well, because it wasn't a real narrative and the media decided to move away from that. Retail theft was another lie that the media told. Walgreens CEO says we have to move out of certain parts of San Francisco because of organized retail theft. A year later, the CFO comes out and says, oops, my bad. I guess we were lying about it. I guess we panicked a little bit. There was a very good reason why they lied about it. They saw the prevailing narrative and they tried to shelter the real reasons as to why they were moving out of certain neighborhoods. They were moving out of certain neighborhoods because real estate was too expensive for them. Okay, brick and mortar retail is getting absolutely clobbered by Amazon. Of course, they're having a hard time competing with, online retailers. And that's the real reason why they were shutting down some of those stores. They didn't want to say it like that because that would cause maybe an investor panic. So they were like, oh no, it's because of crime. Having said that, all of this, and the fact that crime has steadily declined, with the exception of that minor blip post-COVID, is the reason why RNC Day 2 was kind of a dud, because they can't keep up this narrative that like crime is out of control, crime is out of control. They have, however, created an immigrant crime panic, which again, another HasanAbi lock permanently. Undocumented immigrants do not do more crime than documented U.S. citizens. As a matter of fact, per capita, undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime. Just remember that. But that doesn't change the reality that the Republicans have hysterically claimed that migrants are doing crimes everywhere, all of which is a lie. There is no other way to have this conversation with people because they're just presenting a false narrative that they genuinely believe. How do you deal with that sort of thing? Republicans love using singular instances to create a false narrative. When I say undocumented migrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens, that doesn't mean no undocumented immigrant has ever done a crime. That would be insane. But like I was saying, it was shocking to hear NPR also somehow magically realize the truth of the matter. They said that RNC Day 2 was a dud, partially because violent crime is down, U.S. murder rate is plunging. They said undocumented migrants are not exactly a prescient talking point, not exactly a talking point that like Republicans still care about it, but it's not necessarily born out of real data. It was shocking. This is why it's extra ironic when someone like Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings, because he's never operating on a factual basis. His entire job is to make it seem like he has empirical data, but in fact, he's almost always operating with his fifis and never operating out of data points.
Tony was on the convention floor for the speeches, including the one by Nikki Haley, where she called for Republicans to unite around the former president. Tony, good morning once again.
Hey, good morning, Nate. Good to see you this morning. So the official theme here last night was safety, and the speeches, including some from everyday Americans, or EDAs in the particular jargon of the RNC schedule, well, they touched on immigration, the illegal sort, the fentanyl crisis, and backing law enforcement.
That's another great part of the conversation. Oh, fentanyl being trafficked over the border. Yeah, that's right. Fentanyl is. Except 90% of fentanyl apprehensions, 90% of all of the drug apprehensions, according to the Department of Homeland Security, more like the Department of Homosexual Security, by the way. Obviously, they're also gay Marxists, it seems. Okay. Their own data shows that all drugs being trafficked across the border, 90% of them come from regular points of entry. The overwhelming majority of people that are trafficking these drugs, unless they're coming out of shipping containers, are actually coming with American citizens driving cars across the border. They're not coming in the pockets of law-abiding abuelitas, okay? There is not one real narrative in the Republican Party. Every single talking point, every single policy position is all born not out of data, not out of real problems, but it's just born out of like hysterical panic that they have brought about themselves.
But the major headline, as you mentioned, Nikki Haley's endorsement of Donald Trump. It came with a huge weight.
Damn, bro. Shocking revelation. Dude, shocking revelation, by the way. Nikki Haley endorsed Donald Trump. Man, we needed you right now, Nikki. Like, how did that happen?
Wave of applause here in the arena as some of Trump's staunchest supporters reveled in her now very public bending of the knee, a turn from critic to ally.
You don't have
Who could have fucking seen this? Another moment. Remember what I told you about Nikki too? I was like, Democrats are so fucking stupid that they're like going after Nikki Haley's like base of support as though there's like a serious group of people there that are genuinely, legitimately going to vote for Joe Biden. Like this broad constituency represented within the Republican Party, and that they weren't all going to genuflect to Donald Trump. You have to be fucking delusional to think that that would happen. History has shown time and time again that that does not happen. Why would you think that? It's always so funny when people just go, "Oh, I'm so shocked that this happened." It's like, yeah, dude, a lot shocks you, I think. There's a lot you don't understand about the world if you look at a situation like this and you go, "Oh, I don't really get it. I don't understand how this could have happened." No object permanence when it comes to hog ideology.
to agree with Trump 100% of the time to vote for him. Take it from me. I haven't always agreed with President Trump. But we agree more often than we disagree because we have a country to save. And a unified Republican Party is a...
Donald Trump himself seemed to like what he heard there from Nikki Haley. He offered her a standing ovation, a slow one, rising from that white plush chair he's been sitting in on each night of the convention. Still had the bandage on his ear, by the way. And in a different sort of show of unity, our Ed O'Keefe noticed that some attendees were wearing ear bandages of their own. So,
bro, Republicans are so fucking stupid, dude. Oh my God. One charismatic like Hollywood actor, like not a John Voight type, but like an actual charismatic Hollywood actor could dramatically alter the trajectory of this party permanently. Like they have nothing. They have no cultural signifiers. They have no cultural signifiers to like point to. So they like desperately grab onto anything and everything. That's why they wear t-shirts. They say like grab them by the pussy and shit because they just have nothing. I feel so sad for them. Will this scare the hoes? I mean, it is scaring the hoes. The hoes are already scared, though. If the hoes are Republican, they're already scared. They're scared of everything. They're scared of their shadows. They're scared of black people. They're scared of brown people. They're scared of immigrants that they think are doing rapes. They're scared of homeless people. Republican hoes are permanently scared anyway.